this is video number 1, some ideas for improvising over giant steps. It's a fascinating piece of music, and sometimes for many musicians a very intimidating piece of music to solo over. But I'd like to share a bunch of thoughts with you and hope that they'll resonate a little bit with you, and maybe help, the least of which is to help to demystify how to navigate some language through these chord changes. So if we take a look at the compositional construction, one can cite that there is a tritonic system. There are 3 keys, even though the key signature itself in the left-hand corner doesn't necessarily change. Giant steps is often written with no key signature because the key is changing so rapidly. Sometimes 2 beats, sometimes 4 beats, sometimes 6 beats, sometimes 8 beats, and changing at different places. So the first thing that I would say, and I put this on this informative worksheet that may help you, is that get familiar with the 2-5-1 progression and the major scale in each of these 3 key centers. And I'll speak in terms of concert, although I'll send you sheets that are transposed if you're a B-flat instrument or a bass clef reader or an E-flat instrument. So the first thing is the key of G major, that progression, the 2-5-1 progression, but getting to know the G major scale, up, down, entire range of the instrument, just the major scale, you know? This is traditionally how musicians practice it, starting on the tonic and ending on the tonic. I'm going to invite you to end and change in different places as an exercise, because these chords and keys change so rapidly in giant steps. It's great exercise to not be sort of umbilically attached to always starting your scale or phrase on the tonic. So that same key, concert G major, but at random places, changing the direction, going down, going up, those types of things. Etc. So take some time, maybe you make just a loop on GarageBand or iRealB or something like that, where it's just one chord and you have a groove that you're exercising over using the major scale. Another way you can do this exact same thing, and again it's just calisthenics, is to explore the modes, the Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, etc., which is essentially scalar thought starting not on the tonic, which is what we're most used to. So that's my first challenge to you. My second challenge to you is to go to the actual layout, to go to the chord changes of giant steps, but analyze them. And I've given, in this second page of worksheets, I've given you some dotted lines where I'm framing each key center as it's changing, and you might label that. So for example, in the very first measure, the first 2 beats relates to concert B major, but the latter 2 beats of that very first measure is the dominant chord of another key, and so therefore that can be under a separate umbrella, a separate key. So take a moment to study that, label those major scales, and then use the major scale knowledge to your advantage. Here's another exercise. Again, it's not a very inspired thing here. This is not talking about sort of intelligible phrases or really improvisation per se, but it's just giving you some tools and some calisthenics to get through these chord changes. So one thing that I like to do is to play a continuous scale, up and down the entire range of the instrument, but change horses in the middle of the stream. Change keys, change the scale when the key changes. For example, here it is very slowly. This is giant steps, using the changes to giant steps, but I'm going to change keys as I go. Here's the key of concert B major, all quarter notes. Ready? And changing to G major here. There's bar 2, changing to E flat major here. I'm still in E flat major, 2, 3, 4. Here's G major, 1, 2, 3, 4. Still G major. E flat major right there. 1, B major right here. E flat major. Bar 12, it's E flat major. Here's G major right here for 2 whole bars, so we can hang out in this key for a while. Here's B major right here. Bang. Here's E flat major. And here's B major right here. And that would be the entire form. Set a metronome. Look at the chart. You don't even necessarily need a play along, although you could use a play along, but do it at a very, very slow tempo, quarter notes only. Last little bit of this video is that exact same thing, but using eighth notes. Again, same tempo, using eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, and B major, G major, E flat major, G major. Try that one more time. I got a little carried away. Ready? And B major, G major, E flat major, E flat, 2, 3, 4, G major, G major, still, E flat major, E flat major, B major, B major, E flat major, staying in E flat, G major, B major, E flat major, okay, hope that helps. More to come.